Okay, there you go. It's 3 o'clock. Good to have everybody with us. TJ Lang has joined us. Hi.
Happy holidays.
It would be if you could explain this what is happening in this town.
Oh, well, you could say Merry Christmas.
No,
well,
we're very good.
Happy Hanukkah to Kenny, but happy holidays.
That would be news to me. All right.
No, I do not celebrate Hanukkah.
Oh, fooled me.
All right. Can we? I don't know. What is happening here? Can we please focus?
Let's talk drones.
We have. Let's not.
Yes. Wait, is that still going on? I don't want to derail
Yes,
you real quick.
it
Is
is.
that still going on?
Yes.
Okay. I've seen some frightening theories about.
Yeah. Can we focus?
Yes.
Can we please?
I wanted to get the current affairs done.
Okay. All right. Here's a current affair. You're an idiot. Now listen. Listen. Penei Sewell, Aaron Glenn. Who the hell are they even talking to? Where are these fans that have said, that's it, I'm not watching the team no more?
People have said that?
That's my point. Did you hear Aaron Glenn? Did you hear Penei Sewell?
About people not watching? No, I heard them talking like, hey, this, everybody thinks the sky's fallen, the season's over. I've seen that.
Yeah, but here's my question. How can doom and gloom or sky is falling be equated to, look, I just don't think they're the favorite to win the Super Bowl anymore. I don't think that qualifies. Saying they are absolutely winning the Super Bowl, we're getting a parade, and now I'm like, look, this got a hell of a lot harder. Not the loss to Buffalo, the loss of awesome football players.
Yeah, the injuries.
What is going on here?
Well, I think sometimes you have to speak into existence the hope and the belief that you still have. And do I think this team is done? Absolutely not. Do I think the gap shrunk a little bit between you and other teams in the NFC, Philly, Minnesota? I think so, but I'm still under the impression that they still have a ton of talent on this roster that's going to have to pick it up and take it to another level. So I think that's where I'm at. I'm not on board with, the season's over. And maybe early in the week I was, when it was like Aleem. And then 10 minutes later, you find out about Carlton Davis. And then 30 minutes goes by, and it's like, oh, David Montgomery, like, good,
yes.
What is happening? Just stop. Just bubble wrap everybody right now. Just stop. So I went through that period where it was like, oh, finally, the year that, everybody was about to have nice things.
It feels like it got taken away from us.
Yeah, but as the week's gone on, it's like, you know what? This is football, dude. Like, I played football for a long – you understand you're going to lose guys. It's going to sting. It's going to hurt. But at the end of the day, you get to those different levels of grief where it's, denial and you're angry about why it's happening. I think they're at the point now where it's like, there's nothing we can do about it. What are we going to do? Sit here and sulk and cry and say, oh, man, we lost a couple of our good players. No, we still have a ton of talent on this roster. We all know we're going to have to pick it up another level, specifically on the offensive side, because the defense has been battered and bruised this entire season. So I think maybe that's where some of those talking points come out. When you do talk to the media, in the focal points of, like, people can write us off, they can say what they want, injuries, whatever it is, we still believe in ourselves.
And see, right there, I think it's more of you're trying to convince yourself, okay, guys, the world's not over. Because to me, as I told Mike, it's like one of those arguments, and you're arguing with somebody, and you're like, well, who are you trying to convince, me or you? Like, they're trying to it's like Campbell gave them the speech, and they're giving the speech to each other, but they're using the media to talk to, well, the people aren't. No. Nobody's doubting you. I think it's just the room trying to galvanize itself to kind of say that us versus the world type of mentality. Like, if you don't want to believe in this team, or you're going to be sorry because we're going to go ahead and win this whole thing.
And I don't hate that they're in this position either. Like, I'm actually kind of excited to see what they look like coming off of all this adversity, right? And one loss to the Bills, like, whatever, put it away. But the injuries, that the guys that you've lost, like, I'm not saying it's a positive, but I think that Dan Campbell and some of these guys can turn it into a positive, which I think Dan has already kind of done. I heard his interview on Tuesday, which was great. The unedited part was even better. But that's just a way. And look, everybody hears everything nowadays with the access that, the media have to players and the social media and everything. You as a player, you understand what people are talking about. You hear what people are thinking, what they're saying. So I think that there's a way for you to come out. And you're right. Sometimes you do send a message to your teammates through the media. Dan Campbell knows that. He knows when I do a Tuesday morning show and I'm going to go on a pep talk that he did for a minute and a half, it's going to go viral real quick. People are going to pick it up. And the guys in my locker room are going to hear that too. right? We haven't necessarily had a ton of time together since all that happened. I know you go in Mondays and late in the season, you just work out. You don't really meet a lot. So leading into Wednesday, I think kind of set the tone for this group. Hey, man, like your coach yesterday, like, hell yeah, let's go. Let's do this thing together. The guys that we still have together that are playing this week, that's the only thing you can afford to focus on. And I think he does an incredible job of getting his guys to bounce back from adversity. Obviously, I mean, they haven't lost back-to-back games in 2.5 years. I think that streak is up to now. So it's impressive the way he is able to take a negative and flip it as fast as he can to turn it into a positive, to put that motivation, give those players that motivation that they need to go out, especially at this time of the year. You don't even look at the big picture right now. It's just, how can we get to Chicago? How can we get out of there with a win? And I agreed with what Coach said. At this point of the season, I don't care what it looks like. As long as you win the game, that's it. With how battered and bruised you are, guys, let's go out there. Let's keep galvanizing together. Let's get a win. We'll find a way to keep the momentum on our side a little bit and get a little bit of momentum back.
But when you're playing a team that's quit, the Bears have quit. You got to look good. I got to see what life after Aleem and Carlton looks like, TJ.
I'm not going to come out. If they win like they did on Thanksgiving, right?
What, 23-20?
Like 3-point
Surviving?
game.
Oh, I'd be terrified.
Well, was anybody saying that after Thanksgiving? That, oh my God,
here we go. Because now the Bears have lost
70
to 20 the last 2 weeks. That's the difference. And look, hey, maybe you're right. In the big picture, win and get the 1 seed. I agree totally. I'm saying mentally, look, I think Aleem McNeil is better than Lion fans realize. I don't think they respect what Aleem does because he doesn't play a sexy position, and frankly, most people don't know how to watch football.
Yeah, and he was having an all-pro season.
Incredible season.
Yeah,
I said it yesterday. He was one of the. This would be the equivalent if the Chiefs lost Chris Jones today for a season. That's what you lost. So look, Aaron Glenn has done an unreal job. The man has to be hired.
Yeah.
But TJ, when you lose an Aleem now, after losing Hutch, after losing Davenport, what do you even do at this point to try to supplement it? I don't even know. I'm asking you. I don't have the answer.
Well, and that's why I don't want to overreact to last week's game where there was no pressure on Josh Allen at all. It seemed like the front four just could not get off blocks. But I also understand there's a hesitancy that comes to rushing a passer like Josh Allen. If you take a risk and it's like, I can beat this tackle inside, but if I miss,
he's out the back door.
I'm going to get reamed, and it's going to be a huge play. So there is a little bit of pause that gives you. So that's why I don't want to overreact and say, oh, the D-line was terrible last week. They couldn't get any pressure. Maybe that was game plan. Like, let's just bottle Josh Allen up and try to get him to, force some off-platform throws, which they did. Problem is the coverage in the rush just didn't match up enough. So I don't want to judge them just off that one game. But Aaron Glenn has proven to us late in the season last year when Melifonwu came back and they had all these exotic packages and you don't know what they're doing on third down. There's 8 guys at the line of scrimmage. Are they rushing 7? Are they dropping 8? Like, what are they going to do? I think he's shown us that he's capable of doing that, and I think he has to do that. He has to do that, especially with missing the pieces up front, especially with missing your top cover corner. You can't afford to go out there and just say, rush 4, press man, and just hope our guys get it done. I don't think you have the horses to do that right now. So I think if you're in Glenn, and I'd be shocked if we get into this game Sunday, if we don't see some sort of exotic packages. Now, can that be challenging late in the season? Yeah, it's tough to install, some new defenses on a Wednesday when you have 3 days to prepare.
Right.
But I think he's got the guys in there that you have to sit them down and say, guys, look, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to do it every down. We're not changing to a 3-4 defense. We're not changing to, a Minnesota double A gap every single play. But we do have to have some wrinkles on third down, in the red zone. That's going to be the difference in a lot of these games. So when I say the gap has closed, I'm not like you where it's got to be like a dominating win for me to get hope and belief back, because I think that with the players that you're missing, and it's not an excuse, it's reality. I don't think you're going to be blowing teams out, 52-14 anymore, especially at this point of the season. But TJ, that's why I say, if you just go out there, you find a way to win, stay where you are in the standings. We can all regroup Monday. We can correct the errors that we made, but we can find a way to get that momentum back on our side.
See, I think at confidence level, you do need to blow out the Bears because they're a bad team and they're barely holding on. and they don't want to be there. They're talking about vacations. They're talking about what they're going to do in the off season. So this is a game where you have so much to lose and very little to win because they are the Bears.
Yeah.
You're supposed to go out there and win by at least a touchdown or more. And if you don't, man, if you win this game by 1, yes, you'll take that. But you don't feel good about the team because you're thinking, my God, if we could barely beat the Bears, it's human nature saying, well, what's going to happen down the line when you got to play, the Bucks? Or you're going to have to play the Eagles. You may have to play the Vikings 2 weeks in a row. You may have to play these other teams. If we're barely beating the Bears, how good is this team going to be? So that's why.
That's something that we talk about, though. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we'll get to Minnesota when we get there. That's still a couple weeks away, and they can be a completely different team. They still got a couple games to play, too, right? Mm-hmm. You never know what's going to happen.
Schedule,
so,
yes.
Yeah, you'll get there when you get there if you're a player side. From us, I can understand that could be a talking point.
And that's what I'm talking about from the fan, not from the player. Yeah, the players, you don't care. Yeah, and you just want Dan to hand out the game ball to somebody because that means you won the game.
Yeah, and look, I expect the Lions to come out this weekend and beat the hell out of the Bears. Mm-hmm. I do. That's what I expect. I know those guys are so pissed off about all the talking points this week and, hey, we lost a couple players, so we're not good enough. Like, that's kind of the rallying cry, I think, a little bit. Like, nobody believes in us because we lost a couple guys. Well, what about the guys that we still have? We're still pretty damn good. And the fact that you're coming off a loss and the fact that this offense is coming off of – I know they got some cute points and yards there late in the game last week, but –
not good.
I put more of that Buffalo game on the offense. The first 2 drives of the game, punt. First 2 drives of the second half, punt, fumble. Like, you buried your defense in a hole that was just – it was too hard to crawl out of. I think the offense is going to be pissed off, and I think the offense knows, guys, like, this is time to start clicking it up another notch, right? We've shown points throughout the season of how dangerous and unstoppable we can be. Now that we're heading into playoffs, and you are in playoff mode, coach has told us for the last 3 weeks, you're looking at – you could have a bye. You're 1 game away from being the 5 seed and going to LA in the wild card round.
I'm going to ask you.
So that's where players, you understand where you're at. I think this offense is going to come out pissed off, and I think they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. And like you said, if you can get up early on the Bears, they have been talking about vacation and rest, and man, it's just not our year. So if you can get up early on them, you got a real chance to bury them.
We're gonna let you talk to your adoring public in a moment. Lots of people want to speak with you. But we do have a critical TJ question.
Just one?
Yeah, only one.
Okay.
Nothing crazy. We'll get to it all next. 97.1